Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you 25 more features I spotted in OneUI 6.0 Beta 1 after using it for a while. So without further ado, let's jump in. I will start with the features that you will enjoy having because of Android 14 instead of OneUI itself. And the first one is the system-wide drag and drop feature. So for example, here's one of the photos I have, and all I need to do here is I'm going to tap and hold first to select and then tap and hold again, then use my other hand to navigate to the home screen, then open any of the apps I want, and you'll notice here that I have a highlight on the text box. When I drop the image over here, I can send it right away. And the same thing applies to text. So for example, I'm going to highlight this line and then hold it, same way, and then go to messages, and I can drop it over here. And you can see my text is now copied. This feature could be useful in many ways, but one of the use cases is the ability to drag and drop things between apps in a split screen view. So as an example, here's my Notes app, and I can simply drag and drop a photo instead of navigating manually to it. The second change is the ability to give partial access to your photos and videos in apps instead of allowing the whole thing. So as an example, here's Instagram, and when I tap on the plus sign to add a photo, now in the overlay menu, I have an option called select photos and videos instead of only allow all like before. And when I tap on this option, it will give me the photo picker, so I can choose whatever photos I want and give access to these photos only. Change number 3 is the ability to turn off the full screen notification permission. So for example, when you set an alarm in Google Clock, the app will give you a full screen notification, but if you don't want this to happen and only get a banner at the top, you can actually do this now with Android 14. So all you need to do is to go to settings and then scroll down, go to apps, then tap the ellipses, then special access, scroll all the way down, and you will see a new option here called full screen alerts. And when you go inside, you can see all the apps that have full screen alert activated, and you can turn off whatever app you want. And now let me show you an example with and without this feature. Change number 4 is the redesigned back gesture arrow. So when I open any app, you'll notice here when I go back, the arrow now has a fill color around it. Number 5 is the new predictive back gesture of Android 14. So let me show you how this feature works. So for example, here's Google Phone app, and when I go to settings, when I try to go back, you'll notice here that I'm getting a glimpse at the previous screen, and if I don't want to go back, I can simply revert my action like this, or once I release my finger, that's when it will take me to the previous screen. This feature doesn't work with any Samsung apps, and I only found Google Phone on OneUI to support this feature. And if you want to activate it, you need to go to your settings and then make sure you have the developer options activated and scroll down until you find predictive animations. So I'm going to do a quick search for it, typing predictive, scroll down, and you'll see here predictive back animations, and just make sure that you have the toggle activated. The last change I'm going to show you in this chapter is also under developer options, and now you have a new menu called contrast. From here you can choose between standard, medium, and high. So let me put it on a standard first and then show you how the menus look. So as an example, I'm going to use Google Photos for this test, and you see how the icon looks now. But when I change that to high contrast, then tap on done, and then go again to Google Photos, you see here that the menu now has different colors. Now let's talk about the quick panel, because I did a couple of mistakes in my previous video and I would like to correct this information. Previously, I mentioned that you can only tap on this Wi-Fi and Bluetooth tiles to get the expanded card, but it ended up to be you can also tap on the icon itself to toggle the feature on or off if you want. The second mistake is previously I mentioned that these buttons are just toggles, but I found that when you tap and hold on them, they will expand to give you more options, and it works exactly the same as the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth tiles. The flashlight is an example, and also the auto rotate option will do the same thing when you tap and hold on it, but others might take you to the settings page, like the vibrate option, for example. A lot of people also asked me 2 questions. The first one, are we able to tap on the text to expand the option? And the answer is no. When you tap on the text or the icon, the same thing happens. and for you to get more options, your only way is to tap and hold. The second question is, are we able to make the media controls always expanded like this? My answer is no, because I couldn't find any option to achieve this. Now let me show you a small change in the camera that I missed to mention in my previous video. When you tap on this button at the top right corner and then go to filters, try to apply any one. Now we are getting a dial instead of the previous slider, and this one will give you more precision and also haptic feedback when you make any change. And the same thing applies to the face edits. You see here, all the options now have a dial. Now let's move on to the calendar app, as it got a couple of handy features. The first one is a new page called the schedule that you can access from the side menu. And here you can see three things: the upcoming events, the reminders, and tasks all together in one page in a chronological order. The second change is the ability to view and add reminders from the calendar app, which can also be accessed from the side menu and then reminders. Now let's talk about the reminders app, and the first change is in the main page. Now you will see all the categories at the top so you can quickly access them. And after that, all your reminders will be organized by date. And if your reminders include web links or images, now they have a better layout. There are also two new categories in the reminders app. One is called the place for the location-based reminders, and the second is no alert for the reminders without any alerts, which you can also access from the side menu over here. And now when you try to create a reminder, you have the option to take a photo using the camera and add it quickly to your reminder. And under time, you have the option to create an all-day reminder. Now let's talk about Bixby, as it got two new additions. The first one is the ability to switch between normal voice call or Bixby text call in the middle, even with the call live. So for example, here I'm on a call and I have a button called Bixby text call that will take me right away to the feature, or I can revert back to voice call if I want. The second feature is the ability to modify the greeting of Bixby text call, but unfortunately I don't have the option under my settings. Now let's talk about the accessibility options, as we got two new additions. The first one is under accessibility, and then visibility enhancements, then magnification type. And now you have the ability to switch between partial screen or full screen directly from the floating window. And let me show you how it works. You should tap on this button at the bottom right corner and get a fourth option to switch to the full screen view, but unfortunately it doesn't show up here on my phone yet. Maybe in the future we will be able to see it. Back to the same visibility enhancements menu, and you will find also another option here called cursor thickness. And here you can adjust the thickness of the cursor to better see it while editing text. Now let's talk about some visual tweaks under settings, and the first one is your Samsung account email will no longer show on the front page. Secondly, the icons are now darker than before and the toggles look different. And finally, the sliders are now thicker. Now let me end this video by talking about my experience with OneUI 6 Beta 1, and I didn't face any major bugs that stopped me from using the device. But I do see some lag every now and then, and sometimes the recent apps screen refuses to come up and I have to keep swiping many times for it to work again. But I was able to manage my day with it without any issues. When it comes to battery life, it's pretty much the same. I didn't notice any big jumps or drops in the battery life, but if I found anything major, I will keep you updated in my future videos. So that's pretty much it for today. Those are all the new changes I wanted to show you in OneUI 6 Beta 1. Please let me know in the comments if you spotted any more features. But for now, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.